The Jamestown Glass House, we're trying to, as accurately as we can, recreate some of the things that were either found at the Jamestown site on the other side of the river here on their archaeological digs, or may even be similar things that would have not necessarily been made here, but would have been made during that time period.
I find dinosaurs to be, just a fascinating group of animals. They are large, they're very diverse in their anatomy, they had very interesting biology, in some cases biology much different than any living animal. And they're kind of like monsters come to life, and that's, I think, part of their attraction for a lot of dinosaur researchers.
What you see here are some aluminum pistons. These actually are a series of pistons that just happen to be here today for one of the famous racing teams. I can't tell you which one because almost everything we do is under secrecy agreements. One of the problems with racing components is as the racing engines heat up, they tend to get elliptical and lose their shape because of the residual stresses in it. We'll remove those residual stresses, and once they're removed, and this is machine true, then this thing will keep its dimensional stability.
So there is less blow-by, higher compression, and you get higher horsepower. And the engine itself runs stronger and will last longer. We utilize liquid nitrogen in our deep cryogenic processor because liquid nitrogen boils at a minus 323 degrees Fahrenheit.
Your earliest and most primitive is called pilotage, where you can see the shore, coastlines, objects on castles, churches, trees, and so forth. So anytime you can see these, you're using the art of pilotage to navigate. But as soon as you start leaving the shore and sailing out into the open ocean, you run into a different problem. And for that, you developed instruments to find the altitude of a celestial body above the horizon.
On May 9, 1869, 100 years before Neil Armstrong set foot on the moon, a single golden railroad spike was driven into the last tie of the world's first transcontinental railroad at Promontory Summit, Utah Territory. The Union Pacific and Central Pacific Railroads were now joined. Both East and West coasts now met and united a nation, a feat considered by some more significant in the day-to-day life of Americans than the landing of Apollo 11.
I dare say it probably was the greatest event for the average American that ever occurred. We must never forget the fact that going across the country in a wagon train was not the romantic trip that was portrayed in Western movies.
In Olympic competition, the pressures are real. Concentration is key. A change in wind or temperature means making adjustments, calculating, and recalculating. Shaft flex, bow tension, and dozens of other factors have all been tested and designed mathematically. The challenge is to make human skill and the laws of math merge. It's an Olympic-sized equation, and Lindsay's future as a competitive archer relies on making it all add up.
We're tracking long-term trends in desert tortoise populations. Well, we see all kinds of things out here. A lot of different reptile species, snakes, lizards, all kinds of birds, mammals.
But through the flow of motion, slow motion, stop action, and graphic overlays, what it truly feels like to do it.